YouTube says I'm not on. Hate people on Twitch that see me early. There we go. Hello. There we go. When no one responds to am I there? And then thanks Steve. I hadn't forgotten about you. I had pressed live. I'm on Twitch, but YouTube needed a refresher for me to click it all over again. It said I was live, but it was behaving strangely. I thought, I'll check it after that. Hi everyone. Let's have a chat on that. You missed all the bit where the wheel wasn't spinning. So, great. We're going to have some kind of competition. Hi everyone. There's here as well. Hi Anne. Hi Monica. Sorry to hear you're not well. Yes. Virtual hugs. Rach isn't very well either. She hasn't been well this week. So, you might notice that I'm here on my own doing this. So it's kind of good timing that we postponed Role Player Adventures to do this. It's a good job because we would have had to do that anyway. Because, yeah, Rach isn't going to miss. She isn't going to let me control. I can't remember a character's name now. Feel bad. Gorak? We'll be back very, very soon with some more Role Player Adventures, I'm sure. But yeah, the chat. It's a bit of a shame I couldn't make the chat any bigger. Like, I've made it wider, but it wouldn't listen to me when I said I wanted the text bigger. It just keeps saying, save failed. I might try messing about with that. It's probably big enough for anyone. I don't need to. But I will, just in the technical mayhem portion of the stream. I think I have to do it through the website. So let me just do that. Let's make sure this browser doesn't come up. No. The prize browser comes up, and I click that. Click that. The downside is I have to turn all of this back afterwards. Is the chat big enough for everyone to see? It could maybe do with being a little bit bigger anyway. Yes, chat box. We've done all of that, and you've got all of that. Okay, can you just make that a bit bigger? Yeah, make that a bit bigger and save my changes, please. There's no save changes button, so I'm going to assume it's just going to do it. Have you done it? We'll see, won't we? I won't mess about in here anymore. Right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Mohammed. Hi, Mark. You've used up all your luck winning Dice Tower Autumn Spectacular contest. Oh, wow. What did you win? You may have. You are in here, though. You're in this wheel. You see, the eagle-eyed viewers, you'll be able to spot yourselves going around my head. I think that I think every entry is visible at the moment. Like, at a certain point, it can't show them all, of course. But yeah, everyone is eligible to win. And yeah, since Marty, why is the camera going over the chat box? I probably do want that. Yeah, I thought, and the other thing that is missing from the Q&A is Marty is downstairs on his radiator bed. The radiators have been on today, so there's going to be no peeling Marty away from that. Even he's got like a little nest under the filming table now, but he's not going to leave. He'll come up, in the day when it's all cold, but not when it's radiator time. So yeah, let's just have a chat, and if you have questions, I'll answer questions. We can just chat about things that are coming up, if you would like to. Hey Steve, how's it going? Are you feeling better? Hey Legends DM. Oh good, I can see everybody's chats. Yeah, I don't. The text size of the chat box hasn't changed, has it? But at least all chat is up there. No, the competition. This is just like visual aids that I've put up there. I thought, in case we don't have any questions, I can show you like some stuff that'll be in next month's vote. City of Crowns just turned up. The competition is for I don't have mine here. It's from Messina. If I get out of the way, or turn me off a sec, it's from Messina. 1347 was this month's competition. It just ended. But many messages went out on, like, there haven't been as many streams this month. They've been mainly role-playery streams, but there's been a lot of filming of things going on. So there's been not as many, like, Riverboat. I think there were a lot of streams Essen month, wasn't there? So it kept coming up loads. But yes, Messina this time. And then we may have a break for these kind of things. Much as I love doing them, there is organisational things. So no, it's not for City of Crowns, but I'm excited about City of Crowns. This will be one of the options in next month's voting vote. Why I wanted to start as an adjective there. But there's new stuff in Paladins of the West Kingdom. Possibly, I don't know, Fights for Viscounts is my favourite of the West Kingdom games. Introducing like a load of new cards, a new person about, a new action, muster, negotiate. I haven't looked into the rules of all of it. A couple of new kind of communal boards, and then as well, I think which is the one that's been on Kickstarter most recently? Is it Architects? There was a new expansion for Architects, right? I backed the last Kickstarter, but I missed this one when it was on by not very much time, I don't think. So I ordered them off the Garfield website. And I've also got a big empty box for Paladins, which I know they'll all be eventually. They will all marry up, I think, is the plan, and that they will all have their special boxes. But for now, Paladins is going to have to break up the lovely West Kingdom shelf of all exactly the same size boxes. It's just more space. Now it's got an expansion and stuff. It's pretty crowded in there already. Let's get that out of the way for now. What else did I have to show you? Oh yeah, the die is here. If you've been keeping up with the Patreon updates, Concordia Solo, Concordia Solitaria, the solo version, won the playthrough vote, but my copy had one extra die and one missing die, and the missing one is here now, so it can happen. Next week, it's going to be the next. It's going to be the next thing that I film. We were all set up already today to do Squaring Circleville is what I just filmed. There's a solo game it's got bot opponents, but you can have multiple bot opponents. So I simulated be prepared for subtitles, Steve. I simulated a 3-player game against 2 of the AI bots. Luckily, there's not really much upkeep. Here's look, Glass Morty, if you'd like a look. But his eyes are green screened out a little bit because of the... You can see people's names through his eyes. You're trying to debate on what solo game to play that has a beat your score. I know that I've played something recently, and I was kind of raving about it, even though it had... Yeah, that like beat your score, I've been unfair on, I think, in the past. And like, it's not games with beat your score that... Like, I do like the kind of... Like the Gallerist thing where you've got ranks of things to do. So it's not just getting the best score. You've also got to do all of these other things. But... it's in games where, like, I know Agricola has still got a puzzle. It's still got 14 cards for you to decide what to use and when. But just the fact that the worker placement and everything is so completely open in Agricola, I like it when it's multiplayer. It feels like it's missing too much in solo. Not because of the scoring, though. I think I've had that wrong in the past. What else did I bring up to show you? There's something around here, isn't there? Oh, yeah. Another thing that's kind of lurked because it wasn't available anymore. And it was supposed to be sent, but it got sent a bit later. Taverns of Tiefenthal did well in a vote right not too long ago. The expansion for it. I know I did a great big playthrough of like all of the modules on from the original game. So yeah, this just arrived this week. So yeah, something will happen with that at some point. Yeah, Messina is beat your score. And like the bot is just really getting in your way in Messina, isn't it? It's not like... It's not an AI that you're particularly playing against. But yeah, it works well. As well as having, like, bots and decision trees and stuff work beautifully well. Like the Weather Machine solo mode, I did a kind of a rough playthrough of because I hadn't played it before I did the stream of it on Tabletop Simulator. My copy didn't have any solo things when I had the prototype, which is now. someone maybe playing it right now over in GridCon. Who knows where Paul is sorting out things and hopefully having a great time. City of Crowns opens up Paladins and makes it so enjoyable. Oh, cool. Well, I've really loved Paladins before, so if it makes it even better, that's a win for me. Architects. Yeah, Architects was the last one. Yeah, I don't think I went for the playmat, but yeah. Big box, new expansion for it. I am staying all in on the West Kingdoms. Well, not all in, because I didn't have the playmat, did I? Yeah, I haven't got the one with the sleeves. I just had it's just the storage box, isn't it? It's got a nice little insert, but it's mainly keep everything in there, and we're going to have a lovely, like, big box West Kingdom collection at some point. There's going to be a Viscounts thing, isn't there, one day? Have ever thought of having a Slicker Drips con or a con with another content producer? Not really. I just kind of being not really being involved in any way in GridCon, by the way. That's all handled by Paul and Vicky and that. Just seeing the first GridCon and the amount of stuff there is to do, let alone like another kind of convention. Yeah, I could barely keep it together just making the videos. It's a lot to organize, isn't it? And especially these days. But yeah, I'll do videos with people at times when the stars align. I'm in things. There'll be something coming up. Not to tease it too much, because I don't know if the thing that I'm doing has been kind of publicly talked about. But I'll keep it quiet. There'll be a nice surprise at some point soon, I hope. Like Pact worked really well with 2 bots. Yeah, so Square in Circleville is like an area majority game, but there's like loads of little areas always popping off and scoring for majority. There's a town called Circleville in Ohio that this really happened. They built their town around this great big circular earthwork, and then decided they didn't like that anymore, so wanted to make it like a grid like everywhere else. So we are the Squareville circling Circleville. Yeah, the Circleville Squaring Committee. That's the way around to say it. And we need to put it all right. So there are like the bots work like quite simply. Like they've got like they've got all like different attitudes. Like Catherine is lazy a lot of the time, and then she's really, really busy. Like she does 2 actions every now and then 4 actions. But you can see what action she's going to do, and you can see where her priority is going to be. And Carsten takes his decisions from 3 colors of disc, and if the colors match up, he gets more powerful actions. But you can kind of predict some of this stuff. It works really well. So like, because they're not massive on the upkeep, you can have multiple ones in there, and especially in an area control game, it makes it way, way better, because the more people that are vying for control of those areas, the better it is. It's not the only reason that I don't tend to be a fan of area control games, but an element of it is the fact that 2 players is not great for them. You want at least like as soon as you've got 1 extra person in there, it's not as bad as like negotiation with 2 players, but as soon as you've got someone else in there to compete for those things, like there was that Space Gate Odyssey was like such a fantastic area control game. You can see I did a playthrough for that a while ago now, I think. But the only kind of negative I had for it was area control would be a lot better with 1 more person in. So it's cool. Like not only can you play that solo and have a bot opponent squaring Circleville, you can also you can play it with 3 bots if you want and have a 4-player game. I didn't do that. I just had 2 bots in the playthrough, and well, you'll see how it happens next week on Patreon. Oh yeah, if you would like to support me, by the way, patreon.com/SlickerDrips. Is the camera like pointing right down or something? It can see right into my tea. The tea is somehow getting green screened out. Oh, and as always, by the way, if you're interested in, I haven't got the browser up with it. If you're interested in shirts and things like that, there's a great cup that, yeah, if I'd had foresight, I would have been drinking from my Slicker Drips cup as well. You can have Space Marty on a lovely cup. SirMeeple.com is where you'd be best stuff going. It's where Tim's come up with some amazing designs for things that I've been wearing throughout the various videos. Sheriff Marty is back, and he's on a shirt, in shirt form. Oh yeah, North Sea, I'm still like, I think I played the first one. Was that Raiders of the North Sea? I only played like 1 game of that, and it didn't have solo or anything back when I played it. I would like to give it a go. And there's the new trilogy, isn't there? The South something. Uh, yeah, all I'm all for these games coming out. Oh yeah, you played. Yeah, I keep meaning to get on board the North Sea things, but things pile up. I get kind of a list of, oh well, now I've got some time, I should try these things, and then a load of things appeared out of nowhere that I need to film. There will be time at some point. I think I skipped past. Mark, was it you saying about youth? You're setting up Euthia. I can't find the comment now. Oh yeah, you're about to set up Euthia again. Yeah, we've played. Well, we played one co-op game of Euthia, and I've been playing some solo games, and oh, it's so good. It's so like from just visually, I was just thinking Mage Knight, and it's got kind of some echoes of Mage Knight, but it's a very, very much its own different kind of game. But yeah, in a kind of grand scale, so much content in there. It's you'll see it in playthrough form, but it works beautifully. The only downside is, and it's not really a downside, it's just that it's long. Like I'm not particularly fast player anyway, but the idea that some of the scenarios would be like 30, 40 minutes per player, yeah, they take me hours. I'm enjoying those hours though. Yeah, Hallertau, fantastic. Beat your own score. Isn't it weird? Like it's not seeing through my shirt, but then the white mug. Maybe it's reflecting like the green screen thing that's just behind me. Oh, you really want to see how Square in Circleville plays? You will see very soon. It needs editing, but then it will be right up on Patreon at some point next week, as soon as I can. I think he's just got Iki has just gone up. You can see. I don't want to say too much about it. An interesting game of Iki, and Last Will just went up on the main channel. You can see a classic on its 10th anniversary. Vaguely, it's the year of its 10th anniversary. You can see how Vladimir Suchy does Brewster's Millions in a board game. Viscounts is a January Kickstarter. 2 expansions for Viscounts. Oh, wow. Yeah, Viscounts and Paladins. Battle for my favourite. So, can't wait to see more of that. In fact, the last you backed was the Honeybuzz expansion. Yeah, I think I've managed to stay off backing things. Kind of because I need to. Just for affordability, especially with the nightmare that getting some things over here can be these days. But just in general, the kind of cardboard towers that are filling up the living room, because hey, things can't be filmed at the rate they arrive sometimes. And I want all of these games to be shown off and stuff. Like Euthia was a kind of hopeful November, even though it arrived in November, so it was arrived too late for the vote and stuff. I would like to do it as soon as possible, but it's a game with so much stuff in it and so many scenarios, and then there's expansions and stuff that came with it. Like, I want to show stuff off. I want to show as much off as I can, but I also want to get it filmed as soon as possible. Like, maybe there'll be live things for some Euthia. But the thing that's warmed me off that is the fact that it does take kind of hours to do. That I'm worried that's kind of in a similar thing to Mage Knight. Like, I'd love to keep doing Mage Knight streams all the time, but the trouble is, like, it's like 3 hours minimum, and I don't want to cut off the playthrough like 3/4 of the way through in a stream or something. It's just, when do you do that? It will get shown off though. It's great. Raiders solo mode is very nice. You got a special meeple to show him off on the board. Oh, nice. Yeah, I need to catch up with that whole trilogy because yeah, I've been missing out. Hello, how's it going? You can buy the app. Oh, is it an app that does the solo player, or an app for like the whole game? Where's my window gone? Yeah, I've done something wrong. I've made my chat window go in the wrong place. You enjoyed the Destinies? Oh yes, that was a live one, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a laugh. I'm glad you enjoyed it though. Have you bought it at a game event? Have you played it yet? I think it works. It works very well. I was really kind of tentative about the live thing of it because we hadn't enjoyed the multiplayer that much. But solo, I think I had a much better time of it. So excited for Euthia. Me too. I'm excited to I've discovered like a fraction of it in all of those plays as well. There are so many tiles and so many kind of there's like 5 different phases, chapters and things. The combat works really nicely, even though it is rolling dice. So they've historically been a moaner about. It does it in a really interesting way, I think. Hey Scott. Oh, it's an app for the solo mode because they don't produce the physical deck anymore. Well, I'm not. I'm always up for doing it on an app, especially since like there's a fan made app. I can't remember who made it. Apologies, but there was a fan made app for like Kanban EV to just do all the cards for you and kind of bullet point what is what's required of you to do rather than remembering the things. All of the player aid stuff comes right up for you. I'm all for simplifying some of these things with apps. You played 1 game of Destinies for now. Yeah, and like there'll be a lot of different in there as well. Like I think Role Player Adventures has been surprising for like I suppose like games with apps, it's kind of hidden behind the fact that there is an app. You don't know how much story is there, but you can see in the Role Player Adventures storybooks that we're going through just how much, as we're now like in we've just done Adventure 5, you can see how big those books are getting and also see how much of those books we're not seeing because of decisions we are making in the current scenario and decisions we made ages ago that just mean hopefully it'll go a very, very different way. But yeah, Destinies has got some of that as well. I'm trying to remember what my original point was though. Started talking about a completely different game. What is Rachel getting me for Christmas? I don't know. That's a good question. Lost Judgment, a video game. Kind of because I had some board games for my birthday, which is just before Essen. Or was it just after Essen? I think it was just after Essen, but it was before like everyone had got back from Essen and sent games. And so at the time I was thinking, oh, I'd like to play some of these things. I'll probably be able to make these the next ones, and these I can get these played straight away. And then things arrived, and they need doing more than games that I got as presents. So they're kind of waiting around. Robin Hood, the Cosmos big storybook Robin Hood. Who knows when I'll get to that, but I will at some point. But I don't know yet. The Beatlesy things got bought for my birthday, so who knows if they do get back on a Blu-ray. It'd be a bit quick though, wouldn't it? Euthia. Oh yeah, it does have a Heroes of Might and Magic kind of look as well, doesn't it? Euthia. Any plans for a Boon Lake play? Yes, as soon as I get hold of it, I would love to get my hands on Boon Lake. Alexander Pfister, right? Yeah, anything that hasn't been... There've been some new arrivals, so when we do the vote... Will that be next week? Yeah, we'll probably have had the vote by next week on Patreon for the December playthroughs. So you'll see that like the things that have arrived since... You'll see the things that have arrived since the last vote. So I got a phone call. You'll see the things that arrived before the last vote of some SNE things that I didn't have at the time. But yeah, anything from then, especially things that I talked about on like the upcoming SN list, and if it's like, I'd say most heavy hitters, if they haven't been mentioned at all by the vote, like Boon Lake won't be because I don't have it, then yeah, it will just be because, yeah, I haven't got one. I didn't get sent one. And... So as soon as it becomes available over here, I will get a hold of it and play through it. I should get like where was my Essen list? Should have got that up and just see through like the last ones because I've just seen your question will have it come up. While we're on the subject, any more Essen releases you're excited to make a video for? Yeah, I would like to have Boon Lake and play through that. Also, the expansion for Maracaibo would fall into that category as well. What did Paul just get? Paul Gaming Rules just unboxed something right that I'm really looking forward to. I still haven't got, because I think shipping and stuff's still going on, I haven't got Seize the Bean. And I would, I know that wasn't technically an Essen release, but it's still very sense. And I need to mention it every single stream that I do, right? whether it comes up organically or not. So yeah, Season of the Bean, I'm really looking forward to. But I've got a feeling that it came up in my subscriptions, like that Paul just got something. Or maybe it was Boon Lake. Yeah, he streamed unboxing Boon Lake quite recently. Oh, Great Western Trail 2nd Edition as well. Not because like Great Western Trail's great, but it didn't have solo in the old edition. Like, I'm not too fussed about all these things that have been like the new art is lovely, and any tweaks they've made to the gameplay. The big thing is, oh, official solo mode. I'm into it. So I'd like to try the 2nd edition of Great Western Trail as well. Yeah, that must have been it. Next then it's Golem, I've done. Messina, I've done. Yeah, it must have been that. Free Ride I'm looking forward to. We haven't played Free Ride yet either. I do have that, Freedom and Freeze's Free Ride. So that will be coming up. But I skipped some things. What's your view on games becoming more educational? Are they? I'm up for it. Why not? Like being set on like historical things. I was talking about that a little bit in not necessarily educational. I guess it is kind of educational, like historical, like the Square in Circleville game. It's based on something that happened. It's based on like the actual town of Circleville, Ohio, is it? That genuinely did change their circular town to being a grid one, and then kind of regretted it. Which, yeah, I would regret it. Turn it back into a circle. Like, yeah, I like. It is an unusual theme, but yeah, just in the way that I mentioned this in the. You haven't seen it yet because I just filmed it, but I mentioned like Lisboa by Vitor Lacerda does that with a real historical thing that happened in Lisboa. That there was like earthquakes and fires and flooding, all kind of happening on top of each other, like triple disaster that they then had to recover from. And the game is built around all of that, and all of the mechanisms come from that being the central thing of the game. And yeah, Square in Circleville reminded me of that just for being introduced to these things that are very real and bizarre, but really happened. Yeah, the app for Teobot is great, and there's an app. Is there an app for Tau and Tinsiu? Or was it just the player aids that I had? I don't think. Yeah, sometimes I try and use the paper things, like the actual cardboard things in the playthroughs to show off like what it will actually be like. But it's so much easier sometimes to just do the app to handle all of the extra things for you. Euthia, yeah, like. So that's another good thing about Euthia, that like your roles still in the solo stroke co-op game, your roles are still die rolls, and there's ways for you to manipulate them, and there's a reward system as well. If you roll badly or the enemy rolls really well, this die ticks up and you can spend pips from that die to get rewards or modifiers. That's a great idea. But also, yeah, you draw a card and then set the enemy's dice to that card, and then they might spend some die manipulation things, or they might try and play extra cards. I think it works fantastically well. There is like, if you're into your competitive conflicty stuff, because you're all kind of adventuring, maybe like Mage Knight style, or Runebound, or at least Runebound 2nd Edition style. I haven't played the 3rd edition. I imagine it's similar, kind of conceptually. Not there's tokens to flip, isn't there? I'll play it one day, maybe. But yeah, in that we're all kind of out on our own. We're trying to do the best. We're trying to beat all of the monsters first. So, like in the competitive game, when you fight a monster, the other players can kind of bid cards to be able to control the monster, because other players can get points for having killed you in controlling the monsters and playing ability cards and things. But co-op and solo, you don't have to worry about that, and you can remove that from the game, which I'm pleased about. Yeah, we did the S releases. Hey, Hero Logic. I think I've already said hello. But thank you for the panda. Why aren't you at GridCon? I couldn't make it this time, but we will be back for making. That's my biggest complaint as well, that there isn't a GridCon 2 video. I'll have missed one. But there will be another GridCon video one day, I assure you. And you should, if you haven't seen it, go watch my GridCon video. It's one of my favourite videos that I've made. whether you might go to GridCon or not. And there's still a chance for you to go to GridCon. Maybe. Well, time-wise there is. I don't know if there's tickets available and stuff. I should look into things before I say them. Euthia, yeah, the first scenario is pretty short as well, chapter-wise. We'll be quicker on that. But yeah, just deciding what to do, and then yeah, like the downtime is in the thought rather than kind of getting bogged down in rules and flows and things. The battles, like there's a lot of rules to Euthia. It's a really thick rule book, but it's kind of generally like a lot of the phases in battle won't happen until you get a thing that will happen in a particular phase. Then that kicks in and you need to remember it. But generally, a lot of the stuff is very snappy and you don't need to know all of these different things. Yeah, I think we did the 40-minute per player co-op version. And Rach did have to learn it, but it still took us many hours. But I enjoyed it. Yeah, Paul got Boonlight lately. It's been played a lot at GridCon. I'm not surprised. So yeah, I would like I know some games don't suit it and all of that stuff, but so many great solo modes are out there these days that it is off-putting when it's not present at all. Like sometimes it just won't work out, but generally, like when you see like keep harping on about Square and Circleville just because it's in my mind from just playing it. You can have really, really effective bots that's like it would have taken, I presume, a lot of thought and design to get to that stage. But when you can have such elegant little extras on there that allow a whole different way of playing the game and a whole different attitude toward playing the game, like I like say with The Gallerist, that's like one of my favorite solo games. I like that the bot is so easy to control and predict, and that the game isn't so much about Gallerist isn't about beating that bot at all. Square and Circleville, you do have to beat the bots. But where was I? Yeah, in the fact that you can predict those bots, you can use that to your advantage, and I like that you can kind of see where they're going to go and maybe make them trigger something for you first, or you get in front of them before they close off a city area in Circleville. I really liked it. Great Western Trail 2nd edition is being abused at the con as well. Well, yeah, that's like it's such a popular one, like even just in its 1st edition, right? That's it getting a new one. Like for the people that are really into it as well and play it all the time, I imagine those tweaks are going to be a bigger deal as well. Any kind of tweaks and improvements and things. The expansion, hi Jose, the expansion to Ornac. No, I would like to play that. And like, I never played the solo campaign. It didn't have that when I had it. I only had a prototype. It was close to the final version, I think, but I only ever had a prototype of Ornac, which I do not have now. That got lost in the big move, I think, last year. Historical games. Got many historical games there, and mostly ancient history. Yeah, I really like them finding these interesting points. And they're from, like, well, Lisboa isn't modern history, but Circleville, it's surprisingly recent history. It would be. Because, like, even, like, it's early 1800s. It's like 1810 or even before that it happened, which is fairly early in the United States history, right? Or since independence, anyway. Oh yeah, Ricky Royal. Always recommend Ricky Royal. Not just for the King of Mage Knight, but yeah, he showcases some amazing things. And Ricky's game Renegade is like, I don't know that it's trying to educate you, but about all of these various terms of kind of hacking and software security and things like that. It's a really thought out, in-depth theme that works beautifully well. It's just hard to learn the game. For me, anyway, it's hard to learn the game with those things in there. But maybe because I don't know all of those terms anyway. Oh yeah, the Proving Grounds app. Yeah, I need to play. I've never played. Is it Warp's Edge? Is the next one in the solo playthrough series from Renegade? And then they've just announced a new one, like a new Mad Max looking thing, right? I'd like to carry on playing them because, yeah, Proving Grounds was great. Kane Klenko, right? Master of Fuse. Play Fuse, everyone, if you haven't. And did you know you're not quite fit in? It's all small on my screen. Can I see it bigger? I can't see it any bigger. Where? Sorry, moderating things. It's interrupted me. I can turn the spinning wheel off if it's too distracting. It's the competition. Is the spinning wheel. I'll have it off for a bit. Yeah, the picture's too small. I can't quite see the. Oh yeah, it's just a little bit too small. How important, hey Paul, how important is theme to you when choosing to buy a game? Not that important. Which is like, I don't know, I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter, but yeah, I'm surprised sometimes at comments and things that I see. Or just trying to kind of bring a game out to play and trying to kind of like sell it to the group that like the setting and stuff doesn't matter that much, and like say like they're like I'm not really bothered about like I'm not bothered at all about car manufacture, but I love Kanban and the kind of the design and the mechanisms of Kanban make it interesting, and like yeah, it doesn't put me off. Like I was surprised all the time. Like I don't think that's still present with its new edition. Hopefully not, but especially before it got reprinted, like when Pret-a-Porter, which is all about running like a fashion company and doing well in fashion shows and things, that like previous versions of that had not done well. Like the theme had held it back, that people didn't want to play games like that. Like it's always surprised me because I don't know. I'm up for, I wouldn't say absolutely everything, but generally a lot of themes. I think that like games can like themes can sometimes draw you to games that you're not as interested in, like, but I suppose that's mechanisms. Like I would say like yeah, it's kind of designers or interesting ideas. I'd say something that I've been drawn in just by kind of the theme by itself. Sleeping Gods was more like kind of the exploration. So even if it hadn't been set in the kind of fantasy world, like that wouldn't have put me off getting it. I don't think it's maybe more the concept or the gameplay and stuff that's the most exciting. And I can't think necessarily of a theme of, unless the theme is like that we are gladiators fighting. It's something which means the players are fundamentally going to be fighting against each other. That's off-putting, but just for the fact that I'm not going to fight other players in games. So, and with Rach, we're not going to fight each other. So it's pointless getting involved, because even if we try and make the game work for us, we will probably ruin it. Micah, can you name a game from before the 2000s you would like to see a new revamped version of? Just kind of like a deluxe edition. There is kind of a newer edition of it, but I really like Can't Stop, which is a game from like the 80s. Like I think it's got, don't Eagle Gryphon print it, and it's like got like a nice fancier version. I think that is an amazing kind of filler, like really basic, pure, push your luck beauty. I don't know, like a lot of things that I would think of from before the 2000s, especially because I'm a relative newcomer. Like it's been like 2014, was it 2013, 2014 or something when I started playing games. I wouldn't say there's that many that we have from before then, unless we go into the realm of, you can't see them because of the green screen, but like the old fashioned, well, like games that would have been in Toys R Us when I was young. All of the Paydays and Go for Brokes and TV tie-in games. Like, I don't think the Supermarket Sweep board game could benefit from a revamped edition. But we played, like, we've done it a couple of times over the last couple of years. We played Payday a few weeks ago, and for a basic like MB games roll to move game with so much luck involved, it's surprisingly fun. Like other games that you could go back to and that we have gone back to, like kind of basic Game of Life was really frustrating. Go for Broke was really frustrating, but that doesn't include the is it Game of Life Twists and Turns that came with these credit cards and things. That worked out quite well. So I veered off just talking about kind of supermarket, mass market games from the 90s. That's the kind of thing I would remember though. Play your cards right. I don't know how you would deluxify that though. It's just a deck of cards now, isn't it? Oh, Sam the Man, you're in Ohio. Have you heard of the Legend of Circleville? Then I imagine like it might be a better known thing in America, right? Hi Joel, by the way. The spinning wheel is the competition. We are having a draw. Someone is going to win Messina at some point. Tiago there, looking for attention. Renegade's getting a reboot. Ooh, nice. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I think mechanics and playfeel. It's just a vibe, really, isn't it? That you look forward to. Like, yeah, there's nothing about kind of a theme of farming that appeals to me. It's just that historically, games, not even necessarily games about farming, games by Uwe Rosenberg have worked very well for me, so I'm more keen to try them out again. And if people then do farming themed games that kind of look like those, I'll be more inclined to try them. Not because I care about that theme particularly, but because, yeah, maybe it's more likely to fit in. I don't know if your name's entered, Joel. There were posts. We've mentioned it on streams, but there were 2 or 3 Patreon posts about it. I can check. I think I can still add you to it if you're not in it. Have I closed the spreadsheet? Hang on. Take that filter off. No, don't put more of a filter on. Okay, this will work eventually. Joel. I don't think you're in. There's a brief pause while I look into this. Resetting can add but never detracts. Yeah, like I'm sure that there will be themes of stuff that I don't want to play. And though there's like games that I have mentioned. Did I play through this War of Mine? It's so long ago now, I can't really remember. But yeah, that I felt bad that like I didn't really have anything negative to say about the gameplay, I don't think, or really the theme, because it's kind of it's telling like an important story, but the experience, I don't know, got me down too much to enjoy it. No, Joel, I don't think you are in, but I can add you if you would like to be in the competition. We still have time. I can put you in. You're in for heavier games now than 4 years ago. Yeah, I think, like, I have noticed more recently that not necessarily that there's a shift between to lighter games or stuff, but there's been more of a feeling sometimes that learning a lot of heavy games in succession, not so much massively heavy, just kind of like Messina and Golem, and there were a load of others at that time all in kind of a big crush, that after like 580 or something playthroughs, that it starts to kind of, I don't know, every time I learn something new, something old falls out. That kind of Homer way of things. But it'll happen, alright? There's only so much space for things. Where I keep getting lost. Do I get recognized on the streets? No. I don't think there's I don't think there's enough gamers in the vicinity for that to have happened. I did not at this house, but when someone came around to fix our internet, the person that came around recognized me, and that was only like a couple of years into this, so it was really surprising. At conventions, a bit like probably UK Games Expo a bit, and Essen more, because yeah, like I don't know why it would be surprising. I guess because I'm English. Like the majority of viewers, like the biggest viewership by far is from United States, and England. UK is still like significant, but significantly less than kind of US. And I imagine like if you added up Europe, then yeah, it would be maybe a bigger chunk than the UK is on its own. But I don't think, particularly where I live, there are board game shops. There's a board game cafe that's going to open near us. I think it worked out. So there will be a shop about again. But generally, I don't know how big board games are here. Oh, thanks. I'd give you an autograph. I said give you merch, but I don't have it apart from the single ones that I have for me. Scott, do I have any Grail games? I hope. Like I'm probably. I don't know if you can still see where I am on the screen, or if I'm too slow. Uh, Games I'd love to have, but haven't been able to find for whatever reason. I don't think it's as much games that I can't find now. I think I've had a lot at this point, and I've bought some in the last kind of 6 months or so that like I had been after. Not that I couldn't get hold of it, but it's a big purchase, Detective City of Angels for ages, and ever since Paul Grogan mentioned it years ago, I had been really excited by the idea of playing Gumshoe, but it's really expensive. It's a game from the 80s. It's a deduction kind of game that I will try and play at some point. Because yeah, I got a copy for still a significant amount of money, but not the £100 mark that it usually goes for. Got to get the most of it, right? And will that ever get reprinted? Will that ever be available? Like, I would like to see a video of it if I hadn't been able to get hold of it. But it's more kind of, it's like, it's partly a completionist thing as well as the game itself, but things like the Too Many Bones Trove Chest and all of it, like they've got it's the last Kickstarter, right? That they've done. Or is it GameFound? But they've done their last campaign for it, haven't they? So, like, to have a complete thing for something with so much stuff, that's a kind of grail to have, like, a complete thing of that. Even though the cubes in my Kallax are progressively just becoming one game per cube because of all of these fancy additions. But something like that, where it's like usually Kickstarter-y things where there's so many extras and it's really exciting, but yeah, you get priced out of stuff just because, yeah, things. I'm not putting the things down because of that. They cost a lot to make and ship everywhere, and there's a lot to them. But yeah, it'll be something like that probably. A trove chest. Chip Theory Games. Wink. You haven't heard of the Legend of Circleville? Oh, you're not a native, so yeah, maybe. I wonder if it is like I think like states are pretty big places, aren't they? I think of us like British counties when they're not really. It's kind of scaled up to the scale between the UK and America. Forget sometimes that it's pretty substantial, right? There are a lot of places in Ohio. Oh, you need to try your Keeper Character Edition. That is another thing that arrived just after the vote, I think. Keeper at Sea. I backed the expansion to Keeper. Keeper's fantastic. And yeah, it's got an expansion and a David Turczi solo mode for the base game and all the expansion. So if you'd like to see that in a playthrough, vote for it next week. The vote will be coming out next week. I'm going to put Marty in his little pouch for safekeeping. Still in his Jennifer Ham pouch. It's a bit dusty, but it's where he's happiest and safest. You must have missed that. I can still put you in. I turned off the entries just like about 4, but I can manually put you in now if you would like to enter. But yeah, I try. Like, I do a post when the competition goes up on Patreon, and I did one more. I think I mentioned it in the coming up. I didn't do an individual post for it, but just saying, like, the Q&A is going to have the prize draw just in case. But I can add you in. I don't want you to miss out. Yeah, Francisco, that is this war of mine. It is just heart-wrenching, and that's what, like, it's very effective at what it sets out to do. It accomplishes that very, very well. It's just... oh, it's too much sometimes. But if you miss things off, like, and like I can't do anything if you miss the competition entirely. But if you would like to be in and you're not in, I can do it in the next. We will have to draw soon because I do need to go around 6ish. I have to do a picking up thing. Someone needs to be picked up, and there's a time they need to be picked up at. I was went into the Messina draw. There was a URL in a little Google form, Mohammed, but I can put you in. If you'd like, Joel and Mohammed, I can... oh no, what have I pressed? Don't mess with the wheel. Hopefully that's still all right. Right. But yes, I can add you in, basically. I'll just keep repeating that, don't I? Where's my mouse gone now? Back to this screen. Francisco, you bought too many bones off me. Yeah, that's when I stopped having too many bones. Just for, if you're wondering why, the sudden turnaround on it. Just time, innit? Time and number of games and space. That's when we... no, we weren't moving. Just under the pressure of, I have loads of games. I hope you enjoyed Too Many Bones, though. Well looked after, wasn't it? Reasonably priced. Clean place, reasonably priced. Hi, Dan. Rach is... convalescing? Is that the word? Recuperating? She's been ill this week. But... fingers crossed, who knows? Hopefully she'll be on the mend. Hopefully she'll want to play some games. So I'm just off in space on my own. Not even got a Marty here to accompany me. I do have a prize wheel that can sit behind me. Favorite TMG games? Oh no. I feel really bad when like I go blank on things. They had the English printing of... they had the English reprinting of some Stefan Feld games, but that isn't what I should be thinking of first and foremost. Eminent Domain is a fantastic deck builder. Another thing that like I don't have anymore, but don't let that take away from the fact that it's great. Like, it doesn't change my opinion of it. Yeah, it's really sad as well that TMG is basically gone. Or going, right? I never played Crusaders. Can I move this tab so I don't have to look all the way over there? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Like, I liked Belfort, but not massively. It's kind of... was there area control and stuff? I don't think there was meany things. Yeah, they reprinted Luna, which is great, but yeah, I wouldn't put it as one of their games. They had the international reprint of Guilds of London, which is a fantastic game, but very, very mean. To me, anyway. Oh! I haven't got to this yet. I've just thought of it. Gold West is theirs, right? It's behind the door, I can't see. Because Old West Impresario came up. Remind me of. Yeah, they did Old West. They had to have done Gold West. Gold West is absolutely fantastic. Eminent Domain. Glad that I remembered that. There's loads of pages of their things, isn't there? I know I've messed up my chat window by resizing it and going into a different one. Yeah, I heard that they were closing, I think. Chimera Station, I never got to play it. That's one that, not a Grail game, but loads of these things that are on the kind of, I'll get around to them one day kind of thing. And at this point. Will I ever get around to them one day? Who knows? There's loads of things that I'm not getting around to at the moment. I don't want to add another one. Dairyman was great. That was a really great filler game. While I keep clicking through all of this, Merchants of the Dark Road. Oh, that's your Grail game moniker? So much so that you know the barcodes and things. Is it? I'm just looking up Merchants of the Dark Road now. Oh, it's like for pre-order on UK websites, but for 2030? What's going on there? Is it an upcoming thing, but missed out on it? What is it? Yeah, TMG. Great publisher. Very sad. That's... Oh, so they must have been... Who's the German publisher? Pegasus. They were like the... they had the American and like international Pegasus publishings, right? Because they did Oracle of Delphi and Luna and all of those things. They did Orleans for a time. So I don't want to just talk about their reprints and things, because their originals, like Eminent Domain, were fantastic. Hey, Genway, by the way. Glossed past that bit. I went straight to your question. But Gold West, though, I remember finally the first time we went to America playing Gold West and went on a big expedition to, I can't remember, the Florida game shop. But we went and we got a copy of Gold West and played that and the Star Trek Frontiers, is it? The Star Trek Mage Knight. We played that on the hotel room floor when it was all one of their rainy rain times and you couldn't go to the parks. Hey, K. Sweeney. You have missed questions, but there'll be more questions, I'm sure. Oh, yes, Hadrian's Wall. I missed that at the beginning, didn't I? Yes, we will continue with Hadrian's Wall. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I can enter you in. Let me... I only have to put your name in. Just bear with me. Kyle. I think you're all in now. And we'll do that in a sec. Right. Yes, I can put you in. There was no, like, set end time. I just said I was going to end it before the stream. But I can add you in there. Yeah, you're added in, you're added in. It was a perfect edition, I'm glad. Like, when we moved, we didn't find any chips or anything, so... You need to watch Iki. Yeah, it's interesting. Is Cool Stuff Inc. the Florida game shop? Is that where we went? Maybe it was. Yeah, Gold West really stands out. Hopefully that gets... That's like been out of print for ages, hasn't it? Hopefully that gets reprinted. I never played Rolled West. Steamworks looked cool. I feel like I had Steamworks, and for some reason we didn't keep hold of it. But yeah, this is... That might have been about 500 games ago at this point. Yeah, Scoville, I always liked the look of, but I felt it was mean. Bomb Squad was really cool. Bomb Squad was like a program, like you were like a bomb diffusing robot, right? And it was a programming game where it was cooperative, but you were all kind of, you had to secretly play the cards, and then you all revealed, and the robot inevitably went in wrong directions because you'd programmed it strangely. Dungeon Roll was a nice filler game as well. But I have fond memories of liking Bomb Squad. That's one that we had quite early on, I think. And Rach not being a fan. Grand Flora, I remember watching the Rodder run through for, but I never got hold of a copy. Didn't they do like a reprint of it? Or was that Skyline? They redid Skyline, right? I can't remember. It might have been both of them. That was one I always meant to get around to and never did. But yeah. Good good productions, good publishings from TMG. Yes, there's a contest for Messina, and I can check, but I'm pretty sure you're in Genway. Yes, you are in. I can't. Oh, Homesteader, I did a playthrough for, right? Yeah, I had just. They did like a reprint, didn't they? And I borrowed, like, Paul sent me his original edition for me to do a playthrough to advertise the new edition, I think. I seem to remember that. And then I had to send it back to him, I think. Yeah. Guilds of London, I don't think I ever did a playthrough of it, but we played it because, like, I'm excited for Tony Boydell doing games, and it works very, very well, but required us to be meaner. Oh, it's Norwegian Krona. I'm sorry. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's just expensive, is it? To get the... That was on about that, wasn't that, for Kickstarters? Being expensive all in. So what is that? Oh, the Kickstarter stuff is 2,000. Yeah, that's a weird thing to jump to, isn't it? That, oh, that must be the product code. Oh, the Kickstarter stuff is like 4 times the retail price of it. Is that because there is just so much? Or is the retail version been like discounted a lot or something like that? I didn't see that Kickstarter. Does merch? Hi, Chevy. Does merchants come soon? It's up for pre-orders on English sites, but they've got like fake dates, like 2030. Like, it's not coming anytime soon, as far as their pre-order dates are concerned. I have no information. Oh yeah, TMG did the Deluxified Orlean as well with the chips, right? Oh, and do Board Game Geek do like the really is it Geek Up bits? They're beautiful. I don't think I've seen them like in person, but on the website they look really, really nice. Yeah, Orlean would be amazing with them. I've got is it like the fan kit? Because my Orlean is the DLP edition, and their Deluxified version was. It's like wooden meeples for all of the people in the bags, isn't it? It's been ages since I played Orlean. Orlean is one of the games that I would never kind of doubt its quality or think about getting rid of it because it's amazing, especially with Invasion. But it's one where there are so many kind of different ways of playing and modules and different promo packs that I'm not sure where to include them all, and I would really love a rulebook that is just kind of consolidated. Do you have these things? Okay, do these ones. Oh, there are roughly 50 states in the UA and 50 countries in Europe. Nice. Yeah, Europe is a lot more densely populated. I think so. It says March. It says March next year. Okay, for merchants. A shiver just went up Paul Rogan's back. I'm 2 behind now, aren't I? I don't know what I said to warrant that. I hope it. Joel, which could have covered hegemony. I did get asked, kind of on 2 separate occasions by 2 separate people, and I said a similar thing that, like, it didn't have solo at the time because I didn't know if it would be a multiplayer game for us, and kind of in the class, like I like it's a cool concept and stuff, and I'm sure it works well. Vangelis is a great designer, but from my perspective, I just want to be the working class player, and it would be terrible to have the capitalist player and stuff win all of the time. Oh, the mention of Star Trek Mage Knight. Ah, see, looking at the next line, you've already clarified. Yeah, Paul wasn't a fan, was he? But Paul, like, I really like. I prefer original Mage Knight, but at the time I was like, I don't really. I couldn't count myself as a Trekkie, right? That's the term, right? I haven't seen enough, particularly of older Star Trek things, to qualify me. But I like the idea as well. Like, I'm up for a Star Trek setting, and I was up for kind of simplified Mage Knighty things, but I'm back into, not that I've played it recently, but I'm on the pure Mage Knight again now. Now, Rach is ill, unfortunately, but she will be back. Yeah, I think it's cool to think that we went to. can't quite remember the name. But yeah, we made like a great big trek because we were staying at some hotel. It wasn't in Universal, but it was near Universal because that's where we went on holiday. And I remember us taking loads of buses, and there was an enormous Target that was like a revelation. Our supermarkets aren't that big, and even the extraest of Tesco's aren't that colossal in England. So Target was amazing, even though it's a supermarket. But wow, the scale. Yeah, we went on loads of buses and went to all of these places, and eventually found ourselves in the Cool Stuff Inc. and got some things that I couldn't get a hold of over here at the time. I don't think Gold West is solo. There might be fan things on BGG. I don't think in the box that it is. Oh, Mohammed, it doesn't. Yggdrasil. Oh yeah, Yggdrasil. That's always like a pricey one when it comes with $3,000 shipping. What? Yeah, Scoville was one that I remember coming out like when we had the game store we always used to go to, back when that was open. I remember that being like around the time that we were going in that, or at least I was going in there a lot and picking stuff up. Always seeing Scoville on the shelves and being tempted, but knowing deep down that it would be too mean. Homesteaders, yeah, it had like a fancy edition, didn't it? But I played the old edition in the video, I think. It's at that point like, what am I on, like 580 playthroughs or something like that? It's gone well beyond the scary point where I'm like, did I play through that? Or being surprised when someone comments on something. Oh, I made that video. Oh, wow. Yeah, Guilds of Light. I think it depends on where on the mean scale you are, doesn't it? Like, I think at the time, I seem to remember maybe a blog post or something from Tony Boydell, that's the designer, saying it's not mean. And I think he did a variant, right, that made it a bit less mean. I seem to remember it. It's a few years ago now. But yeah, we are on the extreme peaceful side, and to us, it was definitely mean. As clever as it had bits in it. But yeah, TMG's like, they already deluxeified all on, didn't they? And then the Geek Up bits are like probably rightfully expensive, beyond my budget, but I still look at them. And the ones for Quacks of Quedlinburg and pretty much all of the sets that they do, they look so beautiful. Did I cover Imperial Steam? No, that's quite recent, isn't it? Geek Up bits are really nice to have for bag builders. Yeah, it is a lot nicer. Like, I've got the wooden stickered meeples, and yeah, even that is a lovely step up from the cardboard bits. I really like as well, I don't think I've really got games that do it. It would just probably be like the chips from Cloudspire or something like that, but the clack of proper things in a bag is so surprisingly satisfying. We just couldn't make GridCon this time. Hopefully as we come. Oh, Steve, you got the Geek Up bits for Quacks. Like, I have seen there's a 3D printer that I forget the name of. It was linked in the Discord. If you're in the Discord, and if you're a patron, you can be in the Discord. It should sign you up automatically. Patreon.com/SlickerDrips if you'd like to help support all of this business. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, there's a 3D printing company in England that does kind of, they're not bits on their own, I don't think. They're kind of 3D printed surrounds for all the bits in Quacks of Quedlinburg. That's, yeah, I'm tempted by them. But yeah, I would really love to see those Geek Up bits. Maybe that would be like, I think they're still quite expensive when you're there in person. But that's how I got hold of they're downstairs, but you know, like the silicone bit bowls they do from Board Game Geek. I got those because they were at Essen, and like the sting of getting things like that shipped from America was taken away a little bit. The Hegemony, I'm not making this up, am I? Now I think about it. Isn't Hegemony designed by Vangelis Bagiotakis? I'm spelling it wrong because my keyboard is in an awkward place. But he designed like Among the Stars and Farming Among the Stars game. And oh no, that's not the Hegemony I want. Yes, as well as it's co-designed by Vanavas Timotheo, but yeah, Vangelis Bagiotakis, co-designer of Kitchen Rush with David Tortzi, Among the Stars. Still, like another one that's kind of bursting with expansions and options, and the setup's a bit daunting, but yeah, absolutely fantastic game. Rich particularly likes Among the Stars. He's just designed like a D&D kind of roll and write looking game that sounds quite cool. Fields of Green is farming Among the Stars that I was on about. Kitchen Rush, co-designed. Masters Trials wasn't like the biggest fan of, but I enjoyed it. And it's designed like expansions, I think, for Pursuit of Happiness. Didn't design the game. That's David Chirkov, right? And Adrian Abella designed the base game. Yeah. That's what else he designed. Paid a bit much for... Oh, you bought the Grand Austria Hotel. Like, I wonder if I would like them to kind of... It's difficult, isn't it? But it would be nice if that got made available for everyone. I know, like, that's kind of the reason that Kickstarter is about, for like to make the thing happen in the first place. But it's a shame, isn't it, that if you didn't have the money or you didn't know about the expansion at the time, you're locked out of it after that. Hey, Alan. It does cost to be a gamer, Monica. Hi, Alan. You play with less experienced players and they ask for help for a bit. You give hints, but when they win, they say it's only because you helped them. Any tips on empowering new players? I'm not the best person to give advice because generally I play with Rach and then I play with our friends that tends to be the same people. But yeah, I like it's kind of a bad habit anyway that I can't get out of, from kind of automatically snapping into like video mode. But I tend to narrate what I'm doing a lot. But I'm sometimes doing it on purpose, but like the kind of thing is that I'm trying to say why I'm doing it. So like not necessarily talking through what someone should do, but if you're saying like what you're doing and why you have come to that decision, I think it can make it a bit clearer, like how someone else should be thinking about it and what they might want to do on their terms. Talking about like, oh well, I'm thinking about doing this, but I'm not going to because of this, or like I can see that you've got this option open, so I'm going to do this instead. That kind of thing. Oh, Anne, yes, you've got there already, and much more succinctly. Yeah, say like you could do this, but there's this, and yeah, give them pros and cons and options. And I think like it won't help you strategically, but talking through why you are doing what you are doing on your turn, I think will help as well. Yeah, it's like it's teacher's curse, right? You've got to lose when you're making sure everyone else is getting everything right and doing okay. I can't remember now why I have the impression that Scoville's mean, because I've never played it, but yeah, that's why, because I had that impression, but it was many years ago now. Yeah, I think like yeah, it maybe ask the players, like it depends how they feel about it, doesn't it really? But like I would do that as well. Like it's like even when you're hoping like, oh please don't do this, I think it's still worth mentioning like there's this thing you have left open, or this thing I just want to make sure you have considered before like moving on to the next turn. Just like have you realized that this might impact on this? I think is nice to say, but I suppose it depends on what they want, isn't it? Super nice wooden bowls. Up here I've got the plastic, the 3D printed, the spouty things. Oh, a green one's on top. You're not going to see that, are you? There you go. Those kind of things are the ones that I've got up here. Oh, they're not going to reprint it. I know that they'd said in the past that it was just for Kickstarter and stuff, but yeah, it would be nice if it could get out again. Dice City, yes. Oh, that's what Masters Trials is based on, isn't it? Yeah, Dice City designed as well. Oh, you decided not to back it, and now, yeah, that's happened before as well. That thought like so a lot of the time it's just because like I haven't got the budget for it at the moment, and I'm not gonna miss it that much, am I? But yeah, at times when yes, I have missed it. I need to have it. But there's sometimes, yeah, a hefty Kickstarter premium on it. You have distilled, but an online store allows you to chop up the price. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a couple of like group pledges that have been like just paying like a deposit of it for now, just to make sure that you definitely want to be involved in the thing, and then pay the actual pledge when it's like collected. And that's been nice as well. Like, that's how I got Role Player Adventures. Just like takes some of the sting of shipping and stuff out. But there we go. I think I'm all caught up. Oh, I can't go yet though, can I? Because we need to have... Oh, I said I was going to go at 6, didn't I? Oops. I need to turn on the browser thing. There it is. Will it go above the chat? I think I can hide that a bit. I've done like the green screen thing on the browser as well. It's worked out surprisingly well. I didn't think it would work. So, let's see. How much? Yeah. Treat yourself. Always with a board game. No matter how many board games you've had. Just always think about treating yourself. Need to make sure that like you can't see on this table, but the kind of square and circleville was hastily kind of poured everywhere, so I could put the monitor kind of in front of my face a bit more, so I'm not constantly looking to the side like this for the whole stream. But we have... Is the wheel all right and in motion? Rach?
Hello.
Do you want to put the cursor on the wheel? Can you see it? There it is. Give us a click and we'll see who wins. So if you didn't win, it's Rachel's fault. Here it comes. I'm covering it up. I'll get out of the way. And it is... Willem! Congratulations! I don't know if you're here, Willem, but I'll send you a message shortly, probably when I am back. Oh, the background of the screen's changed and the green screen's no longer working. I only have one copy for this time, but it is going to wing its way to you, Willem, quite soon. Commiserations, everyone else, but there will be competitions, I'm sure. Again, I don't know if there'll be one for December. I have nothing sorted right now, but they will return. There's a couple of games I'd particularly like to have in there. So, congratulations, Willem. I need to make sure that stays open. And, yes, I think I'm caught up with the questions and everything. Thank you very, very much for being here and hanging out, and so I'm not just staring into space. And, yeah, I would have just talked your ear off about Get Back forever. Let's stream for a couple more hours and talk about the revelations of the first 2 parts of Get Back. But yes, my birthday charm didn't work. I'm sorry, Gemway. Happy birthday, though. It'll work next time. Maybe. Yeah, like, thanks as well to Delicious Games for sending us, like, for entrusting me with a prototype to do a playthrough early for it, but also for sending us a copy to give away. Thanks a lot. Because, yeah, it's hard to get at the moment. So, big congrats, Willem. Hope you enjoy it, and hope it gets there quick. Right, I need to be away now. Thank you very, very much for being here. I'll be back next week with... We should probably do a Hadrian's Wall, right? I'm not promising that, but there should be one, right? And I don't have to rush away for Taskmaster. Maybe there will be some kind of Thursday night thing, and I should carry on with the solo thing, right? But yes, check Monday for the schedule of what's coming up. Next week we will probably have the playthrough vote and the recap and all of that stuff too. Yeah, it might be more of a live week next week. We'll see though. Patreon will be getting the playthrough for Square in Circleville as well that I just put up. If you'd like to help me do more things, because more time would always be fantastic, wouldn't it? To get more stuff made. Patreon.com/SlickerDrips, or you can go on Ko-fi.com/SlickerDrips and chuck us a tip if you would like to. Thank you very, very much for being here though, and yeah, thanks for your support and making this happen. Rach appreciates all of the messages. She hasn't seen them, but I will tell her.
Thank you.
She said thank you. I don't know if it comes through. But yes, she'll be back, I hope, very soon. And we will continue our role player adventure as well. Because, yeah, we've had a great run of it so far. And I want to know what happens. I'm sure Rach does as well. Thank you very much for being here, though. And I'll see you very, very soon, I'm sure. Bye, everyone.